Alright guys, I thought I would do an updated video on my wet dry wet rig. So it's been several months now since I started this whole thing with the wet dry wet, and I read a bunch of stuff online, different forums and things. We talked about that last time, and basically there just wasn't a really good video about how to set all this stuff up without just having to read about it. So I'm going to kind of just expand on some of the stuff that I explained last time, but I've added a few things to my rig, and also I've changed out some parts to enhance the wet dry wet setup. And so I'll kind of explain some of that while I'm showing you the front here of everything. So pretty much everything was the same as last time, as far as like the 50 watt 6L6 EVH head with the 1x12 cabinet, matching cabinet, and the two Harley Benton outside cabs, the Rockville power amp. All that stuff is the same setup. Basically, I still have the Eventide Micro pitch delay pedal and the collider. But one of the things I've added that was kind of in the rack units back in the 80s and stuff, when you're trying to get those tones of the wet dry wet, is a TC electronic chorus, the tri-stereo chorus to be specific. So you can see that's the setting I actually have it on. It's got the Corona chorus and the tri-stereo, and then it even has tone print features, which if you go look at this pedal, all of these pedals are in stereo, so that I can get the wet dry wet from the stereo pedals and then into the power amp, and then they come out these outside speakers. Now, I've had a lot of comments in the other video about, am I running anything on the front? So, of course, going down this rabbit hole, I did all this because I wanted to sound like EVH. And so, of course, my pedal board is all EVH type stuff, except I do have a super overdrive, which I'm not really sure if he ever played one of those or not. I know he's got like an octave pedal and some other stuff. But I have the Phaser, the EVH Phaser, Phase 90 Eddie Van Halen version, and I've got the Flanger EVH, and then of course the super overdrive, and then my EVH Wah. So that's all the stuff I'm running through the front, which in that case is just going through the dry cabinets. So kind of to run down that one more time, like in the other video, all I did was, if you can see back here, what I'm doing is I am running once again out of the head here. Okay, I'm running out of the head. Okay, this cable's going all the way into my Bray. So I've upgraded from a basically the Behringer that I had last time. I've upgraded to a Bray box, an LO-1 Bray box. So it's just a line out box, right? So my speaker's going in through the speaker through. That's the inside. This is the out. And then you've got the line out right here. Okay? So what's cool about this one now is I can actually adjust the level of the wet dry wet, or the wet effects. I can go completely dry if I have it all the way turned off, or I can go completely wet on the outside cabinets if I turn it all the way up. So I don't have to turn off or on the power amp anymore if I just want to play dry signal for something, which I don't know why you would, because this stuff's amazing. But anyway, so I'm going from the head into this section of the Bray box, and then I'm going out the speaker through back into my center cabinet. which is right there. So that's the dry signal. And the wet signal is now coming out of this line out right here, and it's going into my Eventide Micro pitch. It's going in on the input. Then it's coming out stereo into the TC Electronic Chorus, which is on the tri-chorus setting again. And then it's going stereo into... So once it's gotten to the micro pitch, it's all converted into stereo at this point. So stereo chorus, and then into the stereo delay slash reverb, which I only have the delay on right now. But then it's going out of the delay into the power amp right here, okay? And then out of the power amp into the outside speakers. So basically, I've just upgraded a few things. It gives you better tone than the Behringer did. The Behringer was kind of muddy and stuff, but the Bray box, it really shines as far as like you can hear all the articulation and stuff. It just doesn't sound as muddy when you've got the wet effects running, you know, really, really like wet. With that being said, I mean, it's basically the same setup, so I've talked enough about this stuff again. So it's been a minute since I've played anything, so I'm just going to show you what it sounds like now and do some different things. Let me go grab the guitar really quick. And we'll just walk through some basic tones and different stuff, you know, that you can get with all of this mess. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn the wet sound all the way down and just have the clean channel going. So that's just dry cabinet. Now let's start to turn the wet effects up. Alright, so this is just the delay. But now you can hear it coming through the wet, right? So let's turn on, of course, the micro pitch. Turn off the delay, just the micro pitch. We're going to add the chorus, okay? Alright, so I'm going to turn the chorus off and go through some other settings. So here's the super overdrive. So I've got the level all the way up, drive all the way down, and the tone probably just a hair past midway. So it's going to give you a little breakup. So, you know, that's my sort of dirty, a little bit dirty. And then we go into channel 2 of the EVH. that 5150 sound, I mean, in my opinion, it nails it. Even the for unlawful stuff, you know. So of course, all that tone, all that stuff. And then, you know, you get into the later Van Halen stuff, the end of the era with Sammy. You know, you can really see how that's going to carry over with some of the other music of the 80s. I mean, the 80s and early 90s, like taking this sound on Channel 3 and throwing on some of that chorus. soloing on channel 3. So that's a little bit of that phaser. I mean, the sounds are just all there, right? So now that we've got that chorus on, I mean, some other stuff, I mean, you can pretty much play anything. I mean, and it sounds huge. So, I mean, even like, I don't know, like 80s Metallica sounds great on this, if you ask me. You know, if you're into John Sykes, like that 87 Whitesnake stuff. I mean, come on, Or, you know, even some, I mean, crap, the Alex Lifeson chord. Who doesn't love the Alex Lifeson chord? so that's pretty much it. That's the new setup. Hopefully I'll be making some other videos. You know, of course, comment on this one, subscribe, like, do all the stuff. You know, obviously, I'd like to keep making some more of these videos. And of course, if y'all have any questions, feel free to comment below. Show me your rigs, or if you want to get into something like this, I've got a ton of, you know, resources and people that I reached out to help me set mine up. So if I don't know it, I'm sure I can get a hold of somebody who does. So this is just kind of the updated rig with a few new things. And this time I'm going to actually try to put all of my pieces of gear in the description with, you know, kind of the price points of everything that I did. You know, just to kind of get you started. If a wet, dry, wet setup is something you want to do, because like I said before, I mean, this thing is awesome. I mean, I play it every day. It just sounds so huge and so amazing. You know, I plug into my little combo amp every once in a while and just to get some practice in, and it's like, man, it's worth turning the big rig on and like waiting for it to warm up, because this thing is a beast. And it's just 3 speakers and it sounds absolutely huge. I mean, come on now.